you went to court. Now, it's also a very good idea to keep a similar diary of things related to your business losses. For example, if you have a business that might depend on tourist visits or on selling seafood like a restaurant, then you would want to be able to document it if people called and canceled reservations, or if people called and said, we no longer wish to buy seafood from you because we're concerned that people may think that it was contaminated by oil. These would be important things for you to be able to document, and the best way to do that is to keep some sort of log or diary of that.
So again, for folks who have not had to hire a lawyer before, one other thing that's I think important to remember too is that once you've hired a lawyer, your communications directly with that lawyer are protected from disclosure to other people. What you tell your lawyer and what your lawyer tells you, nobody can force you to disclose in court. What that does is give you a safe zone where you can talk about areas where you're uncertain, information you may be hesitant to tell other people. It's real important because of the privacy that's guaranteed in that communication, that you be completely truthful and candid and honest with your lawyer, so that the lawyer can give you the best possible advice and help you with the difficult parts. The easy parts, it's very rare that you need the lawyer's help on. It's the hard places, the places where you're not certain which way to go, where you most need the lawyer's advice and helping you to understand what really ultimately might be a problem in your case, or might look to you to be a problem, but in fact isn't, because the lawyer knows something about the law that you don't. So one thing to keep absolutely foremost in your mind once you've hired a lawyer is that you've got that special protection in those communications that keeps you from having to disclose that and bars the lawyer from ever having to disclose those kinds of conversations. So you're protected about it. You're to be candid with the lawyer as well. It's the same as with a person talking to a priest. It's the same with a patient talking to a doctor. It's a special safe zone, and you should take advantage of that to get the best possible advice with all of the cards laid out on the table. Robert, what else should we suggest that folks do in the way of assembling a team to help them work through problems relating to this oil spill work? Are there things other folks besides lawyers to talk to? Are there civic roles they should participate in?
That's a great question. There certainly are. Let's start with the professionals other than lawyers. Many businesses and individuals have accountants or tax preparers who have helped them with their taxes or with maintaining their business books in the past. Whoever has helped you with that is a very important person to have involved, because they may have records that you don't have. They certainly can help you determine how to tell the difference between what you made last year and what you made this year and how the oil spill is likely to affect you. And it also can be important ultimately for you to have other people who can explain how the oil spill has affected you. For example, if you're a business owner, you may have employees who can help you with that. If you're a fisherman, you may have deckhands, or you may have seafood processors who can discuss how you in the past were able to sell seafood or provide employment and were not able to do that now. It's important to keep up with those people now, which seems very simple, but it's not as simple a year later when you're trying to find people. There's also there's a very important civic role for people who are affected by this oil spill. And we are not telling anyone to take any particular position in public, but it is important for people around the country and for our elected officials to understand how this oil spill is affecting people. And however it is affecting you, you need to make sure that you're contacting your elected officials and letting them know about that.
One last thing, if some of the folks listening to this or seeing this are out on the water or out on the beach and happen to come upon what they suspect is oil or oil sheen or other indications that oil has made its way into the Mississippi Sound, what advice should they follow? How should they document it? What should they do?
Well, it is important to document that. You should not try to clean up anything yourself. That is very important. That takes special training, and there can be hazards that are associated with dealing with oil or with wildlife that have been contaminated by oil and things of that nature. There are websites, there are notices with 800 numbers, and we can probably put those at the end of this video, where you can notify the Coast Guard or the Department of Environmental Quality about anything of that nature that you may see.
And if you do find that, that's probably the best first step to do, is to notify the Coast Guard or other officials responsible for cleaning it up and give them the best information about the location, right?
That is your first step.
Okay. Well, I hope this has been helpful. Robert and I are going to close this up by showing you some locations where you can get additional information, references for leads for attorneys, and references for who you would need to contact in the event you do come upon some oil spills. And in the meantime, if you need any further information, please relay any questions you have through the organization that's shown you this video. Thanks very much, and good luck.
Okay. Great. Good.